Have you ever done a side job like fixing a car, painting a room, doing delivery work, and then you waited for your 1099, which is a tax form, in the mail, but it never came? A lot of people think that if they don't get that paper, they don't have to file taxes on that money. But in 2026, that mistake is going to get a lot of people in trouble with the IRS. There is a new law in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, or the OBBBA, and it just went into effect. It changed the rules for those who get a tax form and those who don't. So basically, since 1954, since our parents or grandparents were in school, the rule was that if a business pays you more than $600 for a service, they have to send a report to the IRS. But starting now in 2026, that number has jumped to $2,000. If you want to see the exact proof, take a look at this section 70433 of the new law. It says verbatim that the $600 threshold to $2,000 is in effect for 2026. So what this means is that if you make $1,500 from one job, somebody paid you $1,500 to paint their house or whatever it is, that company will not send you that reminder tax form, that 1099. They're not required to do so. The mailbox will be empty, but that doesn't mean that your money is tax free. When you work for yourself, you aren't just paying regular income tax. You are also paying what's called the self-employment tax. At a regular job, that company pays half of your Social Security and Medicare, and you pay the other half. But when you are the boss and you work for yourself, then you must pay both halves by yourself. And so if you made $1,000, you already owe the IRS $153 for Social Security and Medicare before you even think about regular federal and state taxes or any other tax on it. But since you aren't getting that 1099 reminder form this year for a $1,500 job, it's easy to forget that $153 bill that we just discussed for Social Security and Medicare. But the IRS hasn't forgotten about it. They know you got it. It also gets confusing because of where you live. So say a company's in Maryland and they say that you must not file the 1099 for something under $2,000, but Maryland says, wait, we still say you must do it for $600, then there can be a discrepancy. So actually states like Maryland, Massachusetts, and Vermont, they actually still do hold on to that $600 rule. This means you might get a tax form from your state for a $700 job, but nothing from the IRS. But as we know, those two entities talk. Those agencies talk. They talk to each other. And so it's always safer to report what you earn, form or no form, meaning the 1099 or no 1099. You also need to be careful about something called backup withholding. If you try to stay off the grid and refuse to give a business or Social Security number, the law says that business is required to take 24% of your pay right away and send it to the IRS. So if you did a $2,100 job and did not give your info, you'd only see a check for $1,600. The other $500 goes straight to the government before you even touch it. It's almost always better to give them your info and handle your taxes later so you can keep more of your cash up front and not put that in the hands of any company. Now, there's some good news about apps like Venmo and Cash App. I know, like for us, my family, they do family reunions every year, and it became problematic for like us to collect payment because we were using PayPal and Cash App. But then we learned that these companies were being required to report it as income to the IRS. And we're like, wait, well, we're not a business. We're not any services or goods. And we could not find a way around it other than to create an EIN it was just a long rabbit hole. It was very convoluted. It was very confusing. But the new law actually stops that. And so now those apps only send you a form if you make over 20,000 and have at least 200 transactions. So that makes it a lot easier for people that want to host family reunions, that want to, do gatherings and have everybody chip in up front versus one person fronting the bill and then, asking for money on the back end. But if you use a credit card reader for your business, there is no limit at all. Every single penny you take on a credit card gets reported to the IRS, no matter how small. So, since the 1099 forms aren't coming in the mail as often for those making under 2,000, you have to essentially be on your toes and keep your own records. And for every job you do, just write down who paid you and how much they paid, what day it was. The best part is that the IRS only taxes your profit. So if you made $1,500 but spent $300 on tools or gas to do that job, you only owe $1,200. You only owe taxes on $1,200. It feels like you owe $1,200, doesn't it? But you only owe the taxes on the $1,200. But if you don't have a notebook with those numbers, you can't prove it. So the bottom line is that in 2026, the OBBBA made things a little easier for businesses because they made businesses have less administrative paperwork to carry and to mail out. But it made things a little harder for the independent contractor because now you are responsible for keeping track of your numbers, your transactions, and making sure that you report it accordingly. So I actually want to also highlight, this is just per job. So this is not if you made $2,000 for the entire year. Because there are people who are exempt from even filing taxes, and you can find that on the IRS website. This is for jobs. So for me, I'm a writer editor, and I might get paid $1,800 to help somebody with their manuscript, to help it come along. They will pay me $1,800. They are not required under the new bill to send me a 1099 saying that they paid me. But that was just one job. I may have 5 clients at $1,800 to $2,000 a piece. That adds up, right? So now they're talking about per transaction, the 1099 per transaction, and not how much you made in a year. To find out if you qualify for exemption, you need to go to the IRS website. If there's a mistake on your 1099 and one of these PayPal, Cash App, Venmo sent you a form, a 1099K by mistake, you need to contact them to correct it. IRS can't help you. You need to contact who sent you the form to have it corrected and canceled out to zero, if that is truly what needs to happen. So I hope this video helped you. This is Clear Terms of Service, where we kind of break down in plain terms what it is that we are agreeing to when we're agreeing to various apps, products, and services. But sometimes it's just what we're agreeing to live in this society, just a life. Just to live. So I hope this helps you as we prepare for our taxes and we all try to stay in compliance. I will see you on the next episode. Bye.